Hello, everyone. Today we're here with Derick Harris. Go ahead, Derick. Why don't you tell us about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. I appreciate being here. And my name is Derick Harris. I'm a certified divorce financial analyst, as well as being a financial advisor. I've been in the business for 25 plus years, and a lot of my focus is helping divorcees, lawyers, and mediators get through that difficult process of divorce and come out on the other side feeling more secure about their future and take some of that anxiety away. But I've been in the business for 25 years, mainly on the investment side. And then recently, in the last year, have come over to start working with the divorcees and the lawyers on this side of the business as well. And it's been really rewarding.
What exactly is a certified divorce financial analyst for people who don't know?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a lot of words. The acronym that some people will see out there is CDFA, short for Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. It's really a financial professional that is getting accredited with a designation to work with lawyers, mediators, and divorcees that are going through that process. So really, from a financial perspective, is be able to look at the expenses and their spending and their income, as well as those assets as they go through that process, and look at it from a sort of transactional or third party objective way to really take some of that emotional strain that comes with financial information anyway, but also from the process of going through divorce. And so we're just a partner. We're part of the team when it comes to navigating the divorce proceedings.
You mentioned on this a little bit, but what kinds of help can certified divorce financial analysts provide to primary income earners and producers and families when they're going through divorces?
Yeah, the primary breadwinner is probably thinking, I've been working really hard. I've got, all these assets. I've got this income. Am I going to get taken advantage of in this process? And am I going to come out the other side and really have a significant change in lifestyle? And yeah, you're going to have a change in lifestyle, but part of the process is making sure that there's a equitable division of assets, but also making sure that the support is in line with the current living habits of both the primary breadwinner as well as the other spouse. So it's really making sure that no one is taken advantage of, and that everyone has an equitable piece of the pie when it comes to the other side.
That kind of goes right into the next question of what kinds of help can someone like you provide to a spouse who may be fully or partially dependent on the other spouse for financial help?
Yeah, for sure. And those folks are probably feeling very vulnerable, right? I haven't been working I haven't been out in the workforce for years. I don't have any relevant job skills. What is my life going to look like? And they're probably very anxious and nervous. And really, parts of our job is really twofold. One, to guide them and to be a sounding board for them and to make sure that they understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that we are going to get them through, but also making sure that they are taken care of in a manner that is A, equitable, but B, also shows that they've been, maybe they haven't been out in the workforce, but they're taking care of the kids, or they're supporting their spouse as they further their career. And so I really try to focus on looking at it from a transactional perspective and saying, you're going to be okay on the other side, and this is why, and we're going to show you what it looks like. So try to take some of that anxiety and fear and vulnerability and dial it back a little bit for them so that they can feel a little bit better about their future.
Divorce is such a high emotion filled item anyways, adding financial stress on top of
For
the
sure.
emotional stress of divorce. I just feel like people just get overwhelmed, thinking
Yeah.
they're going to lose all of their livelihood, they're going to lose their house. And so it's good to know there's someone out there that can help them see the whole picture.
finances are stressful regardless, so finances are stressful even without a divorce. All of a sudden you throw a divorce in there and it becomes, it really becomes scary for sure.
3 questions in a row, and one of them is about how can a CDFA help before divorce, during a divorce, and after divorce. So we can start with the first one. So how does a CDFA help before a divorce? Like, what can you do before it actually starts going through the process of a divorce?
Yeah, so we'll typically work with the client to start to collect financial data, understand, what their situation is. Are you working in the home? Are you the primary breadwinner? What does your lifestyle look like now? Your expenses, your income, and what are the assets that you have? Are they all marital assets? Are they assets that you brought into the marriage before? Are they acquired during? And really get an understanding of the whole their financial picture by collecting a lot of data, a lot of information, statements from retirement accounts, and just getting a broad brush picture, and also being there to sort of reassure them that they're not going to get drunk through the ringer. Hey, we're here. We're going to make sure that we look at everything, and we're going to look at it from an equitable perspective, and to really, be there to offload some of that emotional stress that they're going through. Once that beginning process has taken place, and now we're into the divorce, it's really digging through all of that data, digging through their statements, collecting potentially years of expenses and income, making sure that we have their W-2s, their tax filings, if they're self-employed, getting into their small business deductions and things, and really getting a big broad picture of what it looks like. What does their financial picture look like, and starting to dig through it and creating a plan so that they can start to see, all right, we're here now. What is this going to look like after the divorce? And start creating a picture for them so that they can start seeing the other side as we get closer to that process. What's a CDFA can also do is they can also be an expert witness. So if necessary, if we go to court, we can go in with the client and the lawyer and speak to the position that has been taken up by the lawyer, and back it up with facts, documents, and really create that picture for the judge if that's necessary. And then I think after the divorce, this is probably where they're most nervous, right? They've gone through the process. The stress of the divorce may be slowly going behind them, but now their future is there, right? Now what does my future look like? I need a fresh start. What is it? How does that look? What does my housing look like? What is my spending? What is my lifestyle going to look like? And so we, during the process of the divorce, we created a plan, right? We created a plan of, this is how we're going to take care of your debt. This is how we're going to, get you back into the workforce, or, keep you where you are in your current role. And then really implementing that plan that we have. And so that they have a roadmap, if you will, of, okay, I want a fresh start. I'm here now. I've got these assets. I've got this support, or I've got this, this income. What does that look like as I move down this path with my children, and without my spouse? I need to see what that looks like. So it's really, just relaying their fears and getting them on the path to recovery and onto their new fresh start.
What advice do you have for someone who believes his or her soon-to-be ex is hiding money?
That's a great question, and something that can be really scary, right? And typically divorce aren't all. It typically isn't. One day they're happy and everything's going fine, and the next day they're getting divorced. Unfortunately, it's a process and a deterioration of that relationship over time. And so, as a CDFA, what we typically do is, if there is a concern over that, we typically will look at all the financial documents, and we will look back at their expenses and their income going back to probably 6 months prior to the deterioration of the marriage. And then we will look at those income expenses as they change over time to make sure that there isn't a discrepancy somewhere. So we're going to look at W-2s. We're going to look at their tax filings. We're going to look at credit card statements and really look for discrepancies that sort of hide a big red flag and say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Where is this money, or where is this income going? You were making this much and your expenses were prior. Now all of a sudden you're making less, or your expenses are higher, or where's that red flag going? And that's typically what we're going to do is dive into those and really, find the needle in the haystack if necessary.
It reminded me of a story I heard once where there's a man who's going to get divorced. And so leading up to the divorce, he self-sabotaged his finances, as in he, quit his job, started becoming a student. He did this for a few years up to the divorce so that when he got divorced, he could be like, I don't have an income. I'm not working. I'm just a student. My wife now needs to pay me alimony, and she's a sole breadwinner because I've been in school. If there's a situation like that, is there something you could do to help if it's been going on for a little while, setting that up for himself to get divorced and get the different items in the divorce?
Yeah, for sure. What we'll do is we'll do a lifestyle analysis, and we're not going to we're not going to take a snapshot in time, because clearly, like I said, divorces take time, right? It's not a one day you love them and the next day you're like, okay, we're getting divorced. It's a process. So maybe the deterioration of the divorce was happening a year, 2 years before. So we'll do that lifestyle analysis and do a forensic analysis on all of their expenses and income, but also look at what are they capable of making prior to them all of a sudden changing, having a significant change in their lifestyle or direction. And we'll look and say, hey, you can actually make significantly more, and you were. This is what we would recommend based on that. And so it really speaks to not just where they are today, but where they have been, and where we feel that they can be based on their earning potential. So it's tricky, but we'll dive in and uncover anything we think is a red flag that doesn't make sense, and make sure that both parties, whether it's the breadwinner or the non-breadwinner, is not going to be taken advantage of, and look for an equitable split and support if necessary.
Thank you. That was a random question, but
yeah.
Another question I had is I'm going to cut this out because I just messed up on my words. Anyways, in what creative ways can people conceal their incomes if they're self-employed or own or control a business?
Yeah, good question. And that's can be another scary thing for the non-breadwinner or the individual that's not self-employed. We don't look at tax returns for small businesses or sole proprietors, because there's a lot of deductions and depreciation and write-offs that a small business can use to reduce their real income. So we always will go in and we will look for what the business's real income is, without looking at write-offs that could be reducing that significantly, which obviously they would use to say, this is my income, this is the support they should get, when in reality, they've been able to write off half of maybe what that business is bringing in. Some of the other things that they may do is they may inflate their expenses in the business, right? Our business expenses have been this for the last 2 years, when in reality, they were just putting it, into a nice car or a golf membership that really isn't critical to the business. Another thing they can do is hire a fake employee. Maybe they've got a family member or a friend that they hire, and they just pay them who they then just hold on to that money for them after the divorce has been settled. So unfortunately, there's a lot of ways that people can get creative with hiding income for small businesses. And what we do is make sure that we uncover the real income of those small businesses, and that the client is not hiding anything, and that the spouse is able to get the support that is based off of that real income, not off of maybe what they file for taxes or what the fake income is, if you will. So that's a good question, and can be tricky. There's a lot of there's a lot of creative ways that small business owners can reduce their taxes and hide money. So we're definitely on top of that.
Remind me of another question I have for you. Your roles before you became a certified divorce financial analyst, do you feel like they helped you hone on your skills of finding money and figuring out where the money's going through divorce process?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's a great question. From a naked eye or from an unexperienced eye, you may look at a 401k statement, or you may look at a bank account or an investment account and not be able to see some of the nuances of where money comes from, where's it going. And with 20 plus years in the business, I've got the experience of looking at finances. I mean, that's all I've been doing is looking at that. And so, I'm able to bring that experience to the table when we're looking through their finances, looking at the documents, looking for those nuances, but also the planning aspect. So as an investment advisor, we do a lot of planning for folks, right? We do a lot of retirement planning, income planning, college planning, saving for college. And that's a big part of the CDFA role, which is creating that plan that really offsets the fear and anxiety that client can have. Without that planning experience, they're not going to have that roadmap that they can follow post-divorce. And so their anxiety really hasn't been taken care of. They may not have a true path or understanding of what it looks like. And so with that planning experience, I can help them, guide them, show them, hey, this is what it's going to look like. These are the numbers. This is how we're going to get you to retirement or whatever that next goal is, and relieve that fear and anxiety that they may have.
Do you have any advice for people who are starting the divorce process when it comes to their money as we close up here?
Yeah. Find the best team, right? At the end of the day, whether it's a mediator, whether it's a lawyer, a CDFA is on the team, maybe a real estate agent, an accountant, but really making sure that you've got the right team behind you that is looking out for you, that you've got your financial aspect taken care of, you got your legal aspect taken care of, you got your living situation taken care of, because without the right team, you may be missing something. And that's what the team is there for, is to uncover, look under every rock, uncover every issue, to make sure that you're as well protected and taken care of as possible. So make sure you've got the right team on your side.
Thank you. What is a good way for people to contact you if they have any questions?
Yeah, there's a number of ways, obviously, email and by phone. My email is dharris, HARRIS, at divdollars, DIVDOLLARS.com. That's short for divorce dollars. The other way you can reach me is 801-928-7900. So I'd love to take your call and chat with you if you have some concerns, or shoot me an email and we can start the conversation that way.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time, Lindsay, and look forward to working with you guys.